structure. Okay. Like they are a multi-million-dollar company. I think Ben Shapiro is worth like $50 million, dude. I mean, they were offering Steven Crowder. They're so much larger than just like a couple million. Are we crazy? Did we forget that Steven Crowder was offered by the Daily Wire a straight up $50 million contract? And he said, this is slavery. Here it is. Far right blowhard calls 50 million Daily Wire offer a slave contract. It's also not a better setup for what she is doing or what you are doing. You're doing a live stream. It's supposed to be a real person in a real house expressing their opinions. That's exactly what your setup indicates. Whereas hers shows you that it's completely made up. Yeah, but that's the difference. Like for the average onlooker, like they don't care, especially conservative audiences tend to be a little bit older too. And they don't give a shit. Like they like it. I think, like I said, she presents a softer face. In my opinion, she presents a softer face on like right-wing commentary. She covers cultural issues and things like that. And there's definitely an audience for it. And that's why she's been popping off. She's been popping off harder than Ben Shapiro has on the Daily Wire broadcast, which is part of the reason why I think she wanted to go solo dolo.
In the Pendragon cycle is sensational. I'm certain that whatever Brett creates next will be filled with the same joy and laughter and heart that she's brought to all of her work at the Daily Wire. And we wish her nothing but the best.
So, my friends, while I have you here, I thought we could run it back one last time with the comment section. And last night, I was sitting at my laptop, literally racking my brain, trying to think about what would be the perfect last episode. I mean, there was so much that happened over the weekend that I desperately wanted to talk to you about.
She's definitely fetishized too. I mean, I can't speak on that, but I'm sure there is that. Like, it makes sense. It is a misogynistic audience. I think a lot of ladies probably like her too. There's a lot of older men that like her. There's a lot of ladies that like her just because her Snow White movie fell apart. Who is this? Should I ask her for streamers and cars? Nick Pollum, don't even fucking start. If you do a collab with her and your fraudulent ass did not even collaborate with me while you were in my backyard in Los Angeles, California, let me tell you something, okay? I'm sorry, I was knee deep in some shit. You feel me? No, I don't feel you. No, I don't feel you, okay? She's literally pretending to be a teen. It's weird as fuck. Yeah. I had a nasty 60-some-year-old alcoholic patient watching her on his iPad in the hospital, Lamau. Nick invites her and then surprises her with you. Hold on. All right, let me check. I'm restructuring and rescheduling some stuff right now. Let chat parasocially guide you for collabs, interacting with others, etc. Yeah, I can't even. I'm parasocial at this point, you know, with Nick Pollum, because now we used to be boys. You know what I mean? We used to be fucking boys. Also, it's not suspicious that he's in here chirping in the chat because Maya Higa is about to be on the broadcast in a little bit. I'm just saying. I know what time it is, dude. I know what the fuck is up. Yeah, with me and Nick, we used to be boys. Now it's parasocial. Now that he won awards and shit, he doesn't fuck with me no more like that. It ain't like that. Do you think Ben in the Daily Wire in cope mode over this? I mean, I would be if I had like a media franchise and I lost my fucking star because I did not retain her talents by offering her a pretty solid contract. Then yes, I would absolutely be a little bit shaken by it. You know what I mean? I am sorry. I will be there next time. Okay, it's my fault. All right, we got him. Have we discussed whether she looks like Ben Shapiro because of her views or if she has her views because she looks like Ben Shapiro? No, I think she was like a failed actress, and therefore she just kind of looked like that. I don't think she had these views from the jump. I think like this is the failed actress route. With Ben Shapiro is like he was a failed writer, but he also kind of had these views from the jump. But I do suspect that she will be, if she tries to be authentic, I suspect that she'll be less conservative broadly. But if she wants the hits, if she wants the clicks, if she wants the grift, she's going to have to be a lot more aggro and a lot more overtly right-wing. So we'll see. So yeah. Are you telling me she's not related to Ben Shapiro? I know it sounds insane, but she's not related to Ben Shapiro. But yeah, for the record, like with all the cutesy nonsense, like she's still over here talking about like how Jordan Neely deserved to be executed for being a scary nuisance. Okay. Just so you understand. It's not like it's not like she's a nice person. She just has the aesthetics. She presents the aesthetics of like a softer, gentler approach. She's a Ben Shapiro with a filter. Nice of you to support independent media. Wait, what? I don't follow her on Instagram, but I did follow her on Twitter. I don't know why you had to fake this. I did recently follow her on Twitter because I wanted to see what was going on with this. I wanted to see where she'd be going next. Yeah, Brett's fans were all creepy old men fawning over a hot young girl streaming from her bedroom. That show was never about Brett giving actual political analysis. It was about using a cute young girl to reassure how right and in touch old conservatives are. There's a reason all the guys on Daily Wire have desks in offices and sets and smoke cigars, where Brett is a colorful children's bedroom as hers. Yeah, I think they wanted to make inroads with a younger audience. And like I showed yesterday, she did. I don't think she made inroads with a younger audience necessarily, but she did definitely have, get a lot of play. She was kind of carrying the franchise a little bit. Like, she was the Daily Wire's most successful entity. Okay. Why didn't she stream? Seems like they tried to emulate streaming, but it was all scripted. Yeah. I think it's really interesting that like what I've been doing, and this isn't like me gassing myself up. Like, we saw this with Turning Point USA and other right-wing groups when they had like their documents leaked. They openly were talking about having like emulating what I do, and this is the process. Like they literally were like, let's make a show of someone who is like fake streaming from their bedroom or from their living room, whatever, in an identical fashion to what we've seen with other successful media products in the political sphere. Which is crazy. That means that they're not only watching, but also, you know, they're emulating it. Some Nazi iCarly shit. Yeah. Honestly, though, does she really think she would get the bag on this? She's a woman working for a very conservative right-wing media group. They would be happy to let her go, so they don't have to pay her more. To be fair, they did stream every once in a while. Yeah, but they're probably ass. Like, look at those streams, dude. They're an hour long, and I'm sure that they were very controlled. And notice how little views they got, except for, I guess, live from Buckingham Palace.
We're actually here. I think they thought we were faking when we said that we were going to be at, look behind us, Buckingham Palace.
We are here.
The day of the coronation. How exciting.
Wow. Both of the girlies that are no longer with the Daily Wire. Look at that. Both of the girlies. How would someone be able to hear me call HC dumb and then respond in the chat saying, says you? I don't know. Why are you asking me about your chat battle? They have.
Yes, you are correct. Kate Middleton. She looked absolutely. There was a woman bishop, which was very.
Right out here, actually. I don't know what they were protesting.
Probably the king.
Probably. They're British, but I think it's very cool to see how different countries come together.
Fashion faux pas. She wore this.
They did a 10-minute live stream. That's crazy. And then also on top of that, like, rating the memes with the original meme lord.
I haven't really ridden recently, but we do need to do a horse girl video at some point. Okay, moving on. Okay. That's good. That looks like every person that I react to in a TikTok. This is basically every person.
This is so shit, dude.
Because I don't really care if you guys see my screen. I don't have anything incriminating on this. What is that?
You guys don't remember this?
I don't remember this.
No. Am I supposed to know?
It's a good reaction meme, though.
Yeah.
They were I think it was the Golden Globes, and someone on.
This shit is ass. No wonder they have. No wonder the.
Welcome back to the comment section.
No wonder this is like obviously a very clearly streamlined process that they made. Twitch experience, but for boomers. Yeah. I can radicalize Candace. I'll fix her. She just needs to give me a chance. Okay, stop. Candace Owens is radicalized all on her own. Trust. Okay. She's radicalized in a different direction, and not in a direction where you can do anything with that. I wonder if am I still blocked by Candace? Oh, maybe she unblocked me. Oh no, I am still blocked, but I can now see people beyond the block. Shouts out to Twitter for that. Making an important announcement today on the show. I've been joined by a most special guest to discuss that announcement. This will be the most important piece of content I've ever shared. It premieres in 38 minutes. You think she's gonna link up with Brett Cooper? I doubt it. Cause the way I see it is like Candace is I mean, she's too toxic. You know what I mean? She's like entirely too toxic. She pops off, like she also does really well. Okay, she does really well. Make no mistake. But there is like she is overtly anti-Semitic. But more importantly, for the conservative movement, it's not the anti-Semitism that's a problem. That much is clear. They literally hired her, knowing full well that she was anti-Semitic. She's also an anti-Zionist on top of that. She's anti-Semitic, but also anti-Israel. And that's a bridge too far. That's completely unacceptable. And she got fired for it from the Daily Wire for that reason. So I don't think someone like Brett Cooper, unless they are ideologically committed to presenting themselves or collaborating and aligning with like someone who is an overt anti-Semite, I doubt that she will do that. Does that make sense? But maybe I'm wrong. You were wrong about the Queen. Yeah, I mean, the Queen is probably like Clandis. New former Israeli President Reuven Rivlin said that relations between Israel and Queen Elizabeth II were difficult because she believed that every Israeli was either a terrorist or the son of a terrorist. Yeah, I think the Queen probably has a different approach. You know what I mean? I don't think she's like a diehard anti-Zionist necessarily, but in the Clandis Owens type. I suspect she's on the Clandis Owens category. Well, I mean, also she was alive when they did do terrorism. If you listen to my Oxford and Cambridge speech, I brought this up, but like the people that did the acts of terror that were responsible for the King David Hotel like bombing campaign that killed a shit ton of people, that killed like 91 people, were never allowed back into the UK because they were considered terrorists. They were designated terrorists. So that was the British, the King David Hotel bombing was the British headquarters in British Mandate Palestine. And the early Zionist militias, like they did an act of terror there. And that's the reason why I think she's saying that. I don't think she's, yeah. There are a couple things here. I don't think the Queen is necessarily anti-Zionist. I think she's more anti-Semitic. You know, she's right for the wrong reasons. I should have said was because she's dead. Anyway, yeah. I have noticed that like there is definitely a lot of motion on right-wing commentary, but like not in the original, not in the OG right-wing commentator sphere. There's a lot of motion outside of that. If I were to put this on a spectrum of right-wing sentiment, to get back to the Brett Cooper situation, you have the Daily Wires that are on a downtrend, okay? You have the Daily Wires that are on a downtrend. You have the Steven Crowders that are dying, right? Like they're done, they're cooked. But then there's a crop of like much edgier, much more insane right-wing content creators out there, like the Clandis Owenses of the world and the Tyler Hitler Veras of the world. And even someone who like Asmongold, who have leaned into this like I like the Tyler Oliveras of the world attitude, and those guys are popping. Like they are putting insane numbers on the board. They're putting numbers on the board like I've never seen before. You know what I mean? Like it's a little bit meta chasing in the case of Asmongold, I would say, because I don't think he has like a coherent, consistent world view that revolves around, you know, consistently hitting like right-wing talking points. But it's like, I mean, look, the shock of truth we just found out, CEO killer, like his company suddenly no longer care about DEI after Trump's win. 1 million views. Like he's always had a relatively socially conservative bent when it comes to like DEI, woke shit, wokeness in video games. And he has found a comfortable space in talking about, like, you know, right-wing politics in general. His views, his pixelated titties are good and woke is bad. But yeah, it's, you know, this stuff is banging. Like his like super basic right-wing, like, look how stupid the liberals are content is popping off. Now, having said that, outside of that space, like the Candace Owenses of the world are popping off as well. A lot of people also in the podcast sphere, are, you know, they're getting tremendous play. All the top podcasts are incredibly right wing. You got Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson. Like, I'm not even talking like regular old Republican right wing. I'm talking like Christian nationalists, openly saying like insane hysterical shit about Christianity, leaning into overt anti-Semitic sentiments. So it's bad. It's not good, folks. It's bad. Some of them are connected with the manosphere. A lot of those manosphere guys are also in the way that they are leaning. A lot of those manosphere guys in the way that they're leaning into like right-wing commentary, they've also increased the stakes a lot, you know? All the while, we're still here. Anyway, let's get started with the Lena Khan situation. I got to pick up Kaya real quick. And I'm going to run this Donald Trump 20 minutes after my interview with Lena Khan decided that that he would not have Lena Khan as the Lena Khan would not continue her tenure as the commissioner of the FTC. God damn it. I hate this shit so much. What the fuck is going on, dude? All right, there it is. Well, yeah, let's play this.
Donald Trump announced yesterday that he was picking
Sad news.
current FTC Commissioner Andrew Ferguson to lead the agency, which is obviously now helmed by Lena Khan, who we cover a lot on this show. Ferguson is kind of a known figure for people who follow these types of things. But let's go to the next element here. This is Trump appointing Andrew Ferguson.
This was being circulated by his allies. Ferguson, there's some question as to whether or not Ferguson himself was circulating this, but certainly his allies were circulating this. And if you're just watching it, if you're just listening to it and not watching it, Emily, this is kind of not great if you like Lena Khan.
Yeah, it's a big chunk of text, but it says, successfully fought to end the Biden FTC's anti-business policy of refusing to end merger investigations early and allow firms to close their deals as soon as the FTC finds no competitive harm. Represented Virginia and numerous other states in a landmark antitrust suit against Google's ad tech monopoly. So I just want to note those two things being literally together in the bullet points. This is the nuance of the right's opposition to Lena Khan. There are some people on the right, including J.D. Vance, who've been very positive about Lena Khan, others who have been sort of in the middle about Lena Khan, and then a third group that are just absolutely opposed to Lena Khan at every turn. Ferguson appears to be somebody in the middle. So like you can see they're bragging there about him being part of the antitrust monopoly suit against Google. I'm sorry, the ad tech monopoly suit against Google. Obviously, it's an antitrust one as well, but and then the next bullet point is about overreach, right? Antitrust overreach, and that's sort of interesting.
Yeah, and that sheet talk, that memo talks a lot about being too tough on mergers. That Lena Khan's too rough on the business community. That they're going to do a lot of deregulation. It's ironic that, and almost poetic and anti-poetic, whatever, that Trump made this move, ousting Lena Khan and replacing her with Ferguson on the same day that one of her most significant victories came through. If you can put up this Fox Business article on the screen next, the Kroger Albertson merger was blocked as a $24 billion merger that Lena Khan had fought, and arguing not just that it would be bad for consumers. There's agreement across the spectrum, even among the kind of pro-business side, that if you can prove that there is going to be harm to consumers, then you can block a merger. That's called the consumer welfare standard. Now, the if you can prove it is the part that the pro-business side hangs their hat on and says, and just constantly argues, well, all of these mergers are going to be good for consumers. We're going to give you lower costs, and look, it's going to be wonderful. Trust us. And then it happens, and then it's not, and it's done. So you're screwed. In this case, she argued that actually, additionally, the FTC, and going back to its original meaning, when it was created, and so when some of these acts were created that enabled its powers, the power of workers and the well-being of workers matters too. And so she argued that this merger would depress wages, would make it, and would hurt worker power, which is also an interest of the federal government, of the people of the United States, which is kind of a radical take. Like, well, we're supposed to care about workers? What? Yeah, actually, it's in the law. You're supposed to. Here she is. I love this, talking to Hasan Piker on his stream about this.
This decision being blocked, what kind of labor protections does that offer to people that are working at these corporations?
So one thing that our lawsuit alleged was that if this merger goes through, it's going to mean higher grocery prices for shoppers, but it's also going to be worse for the workers. And this is the first time that the FTC has ever sought to block a merger, not just because it's going to be bad for consumers, but also because it's going to be bad for workers. And, you know, especially in recent decades, antitrust enforcers had not really been focused on the worker harms as much, and that's something we've really looked to change. So the complaint lays out how previously, when there has been competition between Kroger and Albertsons, that the workers at each store were able to use that competition as leverage when they were trying to bargain. And that if
That's my famous little girl Kaya right there. Look at that. She famous. She famous.
you allow these two companies to merge, that leverage that comes
Double
from
Kaya.
having a potential alternative employer or an alternative store where customers can go if there's a strike, but eliminating that leverage point and bargaining leverage would ultimately be bad for workers. So again, this is still being litigated, but that was in the complaint as an explanation for why this merger would be bad for workers. When the FTC team put on the trial, they actually had on the stand some of the workers that are currently employed by these stores so that they could also share their experience. And just generally, I mean, there's a lot of empirical evidence that now shows that after mergers, workers have seen, you know, pay cuts or a limit in any pay rises. You often see layoffs. You can see workers have less negotiation power to figure out, will I even have a stable, predictable schedule? And so, you know, these are all dimensions of competition on the labor front that are important to protect for people.
First of all, it's pretty cool to have an FTC chair that goes on Hasan Piker's stream. We were 4 years in power. It was quite a run. We'll see. We'll see where it goes from here. The big fear among supporters of the kind of Lena Khan approach to FTC was that Melissa Holyoke, who was a commissioner on the FTC, that she would get the chair gig, and she's as hostile as you can get to the kind of Khan-Cantor wing of that bipartisan, transpartisan movement. So the fact that she didn't get it is something, but the fact that somebody got it who says that that she was too tough on mergers, like the day that she blocked this like huge, because what the Wall Street Journal would always say about her is, oh, she filed another frivolous BS case that's just going to eat up money, and then when a judge gets this complaint, he's going to knock it away because this is a child who doesn't even belong in this job, and she doesn't understand how the law works. And time after time after time, the judges are like, these are good points. This merger's blocked.
Well, what she said on Hasan's show there is like,